Alright guys, so today we're going to be checking out the brand new XROUND AERO surround sound true wireless earbuds. Now the reason that I wanted to check these out is obviously on this channel we check out a lot of earbuds that are focused on music, but it's kind of rare to come across a pair that not only handles music well, but also has a focus on movies and gaming, and has a focus on cutting down lag and making sure that you can get the most out of different types of media. So when I saw this pair came in retailing at 90 bucks, and even right now there is a coupon code that has them at $75. I thought it was worth checking out to see how well it does with all those different types of media. We're gonna see what all comes inside the box. We're gonna talk about the sound and see if it's worth the $75 price tag. Now, before we actually talk about the earbuds themselves, I do want to talk about some accessories that XROUND sells. They sell this little hard zippered case, which I'm not normally a fan of having a case to carry your case in. But I do understand the point of this if you want to carry extra ear tips or if you want to carry the charging cable. And you might also want to carry this accessory that I do think is necessary. And that is the Bluetooth transmitter that they sell. Now this does come in at 40 bucks. But I think if you game on PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch or even your PC, I think this is pretty much necessary just to make sure that you have no lag at all. And really, to game wirelessly on your PlayStation or Nintendo Switch, if you're going to be using a Bluetooth device, you have to have a transmitter anyway. So this is going to send a Bluetooth signal to your earbuds. It does use aptX codec, so you don't have to worry about compression or losing quality when it comes to sound. And I did not experience any kind of lag with a PlayStation. I didn't experience any kind of lag with the Nintendo Switch. I also did not experience any lag with PC gaming, and that in itself is impressive. But another huge plus is they also include this little 3.5mm mic attachment. So you just plug it into the Nintendo Switch's headphone jack, or you just plug them into the PlayStation controller headphone jack. And this allows you to have a wireless mic as well while you're using your Bluetooth earbuds. So if you add this on top of the price of the earbuds, you're now looking at about $115, but you now have a pair that you could just use for everything that you use: gaming, movies, music, and stuff like that. But as far as the earbuds themselves, I do want to talk about the packaging and the overall presentation, because I know a lot of people generally don't care about this, but I felt like the packaging was unique. I really like the fact that inside the box they include a set of spin-fit silicone ear tips. They also include noise isolating ear tips if you want a firmer ear tip that's just kind of blocking out a lot of your surroundings. And they also include, a tiny USB-C cable. Now, I'm not a fan of the smaller cables because when you plug them into a charging block into the wall, it kind of leaves your earbud case just dangling. But you do have to use a USB-C cable because these do not have Qi wireless charging, which I really wish they would have had. Now, another thing that I do want to point out that you're going to want to do before actually using these is you're going to want to download the XROUND MyTune app. Not only does it allow you to update your earbuds, they do have a hearing ID test that walks you through some steps to make sure that you're getting the best use out of your earbuds. They have built-in EQ options. They have it where you can customize the EQing yourself. And they also have the ability to switch around your controls if you want to do that. So I think it's kind of a straightforward app. It's easy to use. You can even switch between some different surround sound modes that they have, because that's a focus that they have with these. If you're going to use them with movies or gaming, those surround sound modes actually make a difference. Now, I am going to say if you're going to use these specifically for music, I would not use the surround sound modes because I didn't find them to really sound that great with just listening to music. But as far as any other technology that's also in these, they do use Bluetooth 5.0, and they also have an IP rating of IP54. So they have dust-resistant protection, and they also have a low-level kind of water-resistant protection. So you would not want to submerge these into water, but if you are using these and they get splashed on, or if you sweat heavily, or if it starts to rain, you don't really have to worry as much. Now, as far as using these for gaming, they have a gaming mode that you can also switch these into, which is basically like their low latency mode, and it cuts it down to like 50 milliseconds. And if you are going to use them in the gaming mode or low latency mode, it will cut down on your battery life. But the battery life that's expected of these out of the box is 6 hours on the earbuds, with around 24 hours using the case. And another thing that I do want to point out that I'm not the biggest fan of is there's no fast charge feature on these, which I've gotten really used to seeing on pretty much every other earbud that's coming out now. Now, moving over to looking at the case itself, the overall design I like. It's basically a squared off look. It's not a large case, but on the back you can see the USB-C input for charging. And then around on the front you have 4 indicator lights. That way you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now, when you open up the lid, there is a pairing button that's located in between both earbuds. And then moving over to looking at the actual earbuds, you can tell that it's basically a straight line design. Like everything just looks very sharp and very angled. This pair is extremely light. It's extremely comfortable. So it is one of those pairs, if you are going to be gaming for 5 or 6 hours, which is what the battery life gives you, you can wear them and not have any issues with any kind of discomfort. Now, as far as the controls, this is another area I was impressed with because not only does it use tap controls, it also has swipe gestures to be able to change your tracks or control your volume. And on the earbuds themselves, they give you control over everything. So you can even switch them into the surround sound mode. You can switch them into gaming mode. You can do all of that on the earbuds and not actually have to open the app at all. And then as far as the mics on these, this is another area that I think they did a really good job with. I felt like the dual mics that they're using on both earbuds did a really good job of focusing in on my voice and also doing a pretty decent job of blocking out my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the XROUND AEROs. Again, I think it picks up my voice very clearly. I do wish it picked up bass tones a little bit better, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound, because these are using titanium coated drivers, and the way that it's tuned out of the box, these reminded me a lot of the AirPods Pros. And the reason I think that's impressive is the AirPods Pros retail for $250. Now, I do understand that those have noise canceling, and if you're in Apple's ecosystem, obviously it gives you some other features that just kind of works well within each other. But to have sound like that you can pick up for $75 and also have the ability to just tune these any way that you want, because I still went in and EQ'd these to make them sound very, very bright. I also wanted a little bit more thump in the low end, so I pushed that up as well. And I just got a sound signature that was really dynamic. It was in your face. And I'm somebody that just listens to a little bit of everything. So I like it if I can feel the drums and metal, but also hear like solos and hear the cymbals crashing on the drums, but then switch over to like pop and hip hop and EDM and stuff like that, and feel the impact that bass has, and still be able to hear vocalists without sounding like everything's getting muddy or just congested. And I felt like mids were definitely the focal point on these because vocalists always stood out. You can also tell with movies that dialogue was more upfront, and that's also important with gaming because mids is bringing out your dialogue. It's bringing out those subtle footsteps. And I think details are just excellent with this pair. You can tell that they didn't go overboard with the bass, and I think that's to cut down on any kind of distortion or just have it affect your mids and highs, which I felt like stood out the most with these. So as far as the surround sound modes, again, I do not recommend them for music. I didn't like what it did to it, even though it did elevate the volume quite a bit. But when it came to movies and gaming, the surround sound mode actually made sense. Now, this is not one of those surround sound modes that sounds like it just has reverb or echo slapped onto whatever you're listening to. It just adds a spaciousness in the sound which just kind of makes things feel a little bit more natural while you're using these for movies or gaming. So my overall opinion is I really have enjoyed these, not just for music, but again, being able to switch to different types of media. You don't have to have like one pair of earbuds for this and another pair for this. I do still have some cons with these. I really wish that the case was a Qi wireless charging case. I also wish that it had a fast charge feature, but I think where it stands out the most is just the ability to be used on other devices that other earbuds can't. So I highly recommend these. But guys, that's my video on the brand new XROUND AERO surround sound true wireless earbuds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.